Welcome, Reflections. You are over here with Tarethia. Hit the like and subscribe button. Hit the follow button because we are back for another hoodoo, voodoo, root workers story in the South. Today, this particular story takes place in Tennessee. So let's get started. A high-profile case involving the murder of a spiritual worker occurred in 1957 in Shelbyville, Tennessee. The victim was murdered because his client believed he placed a curse on him. 40-year-old Moses M. Martin from Stevenson, Alabama, had sought guidance from a spiritual worker, Simon T. Warner, known for his healing and psychic abilities in the Mid-South. Moses drove up from Alabama to seek help for digestive problems he was having with his stomach. Warner charged him $60 for a spiritual treatment that was intended to remove Moses' alignment. After leaving the healer's home, Moses began to feel discomfort and fear. He began to perspire as his heart raced. His head filled with tears of dabbling with magic and thoughts of worry. Moses could feel a spiritual rope tightening across his chest. It became difficult for him to breathe. He would lie awake at night, staring at the ceiling, sometimes clutching the tattered over an old holy Bible next to his side. Moses worried that it was no longer the stomachache that haunted him, but the indigenous spirit that the spirit doctor had loosened on him. He could not take any more of the psychological torture from the white spiritualist who had performed this mysterious operation on him. Moses reached into the bureau beside his bed and retrieved a .32 caliber pistol. The 85-mile trek from Stevenson to Shelbyville, Tennessee seemed to take forever. Moses could almost feel the relief that he was about to experience when he could break the spell that haunted him. On arriving at Simon Warner's place, Moses slipped his pistol into the back of his pants. Warner met him at the door with a smile and agreed. "Nice to see you again, Mr. Rose. What can I do for you today?" Moses' heart began to race again as he humbled. "There's something I need to talk to you about, something important." Warner closed the door behind him and began to walk down a long hall on crackling wooden floors. Moses' breathing became louder as his eyes scanned the walls of the home. Paintings of planetary symbols and strange-looking mythical animals adorned the halls. As the two entered the room, Warner turned around and smiled at Moses. "Hope you're feeling better. Last time we met, you weren't doing so well." As Warner closed the door to the constellation room, Moses Martin stared at the crystal ball and tarot cards spread across the wooden table. For a moment, he worried that Warner might come back to hunt him from the grave, but none of that even mattered now. This crossing, this curse that Warner had placed on him was killing him physically and spiritually. Moses reached back into the bottom of his shirt and presented the pistol to Warner's chest. What are you doing?" Warner cried out. Moses' eyes bludged with intensity as he felt the nose of the pistol finding resonance against Simon Warner's chest. "I'm about to free myself free, conjure man. I ain't no fool. I know you put a curse on me, and I'm about to break it free." Moses Martin fired 5 shots from the pistol into Simon Warner. Following the discovery of the body, local police put out all-points bulletin to all local enforcement agencies. Moses Martin was stopped more than an hour away from the scene of the murder. Martin and his girlfriend, Pearl Hutchinson, were stopped by the Alabama Highway Patrol. Martin confessed to the crime. It was documented that Martin even testified to the police. "I shot him because he double-crossed me in the voodoo." He admitted before I shot him that he double-crossed me. "I would have shot anybody who double-crossed me in black magic like he did." Warner would go on to testify in the Davidson County Jail that he believed that the shooting did not break the curse. Instead, he claimed that a magical string was being tightened across his body. He told a local reporter for the Tennessean, "The string is still around me," as he removed his shirt to reveal that there was nothing visible around his stomach. Martin testified that Simon Warner told him that he would never get well. He continued, "I waited for it to go. I don't think it'll ever go now. There's no other way to break it. If you were killing me, wouldn't that be enough reason for me to kill you?" Simon Warner's legacy as a spiritual worker while he was alive was prolific. Warner's discovery that he had spiritual powers at the age of 10. He soon became well known for being able to predict various incidents. When his powers of perception became known to the community, many began to seek his assistance in finding lost materials, lost loves, and financial guidance. Warner recalled one experience in which two men approached him about getting his guidance in locating a buried treasure. A group of Native Americans was said to have buried a chest of gold, and the men promised to give Warner $2 if he could locate the gold. Warner told the men thank you and said that if he could locate it, he would keep it and give them the $2. Warner became famous in 1941 when he supernaturally located the body of a missing Chapel Hill woman. When police found the body, news about Warner spread throughout the world. He began to receive hundreds of letters every day asking for assistance in locating objects and people, as well as questions about love. Warner became known as the crime doctor, using what he called character readings to see into the supernatural. He developed an ability to see what someone would call he developed the ability to see what someone was going to, when someone was actually going to pass. He would frequently work with the law enforcement to provide them with insight into which he would foresee a potential murder in the community. In 1945, the Shelbyville seer, as he became known locally, helped in bringing a fugitive to justice when an African-American farmer had beat his 7-year-old niece with a piece of wood. Police searched for 2 days to locate Andrew Fagan. He turned up at Simmons Warner's residence seeking advice. Warner consulted the Spears and advised Fagan to turn himself in. The seer accompanied Fagan to the local police department where he surrendered to the local authorities. Warner went on to study criminology and created a crime show exhibit that he wanted to take around the world. The $75,000 collection featured a number of mannequins dressed as famous criminals, including Adolf Hitler and John Dillinger. And he was focused on curbing juvenile crime. Warner had a half-sister known locally as Granny Jones, who was practiced in folks healing. She was known as the effective spiritual reader who used playing cards to divine the future. Residents tell of taking their children to see her for healing. Granny, aka Bessie Jones, was known to have the power to remove warts, burns, scars through various rituals. Now, reflection. This is a story that's coming out of Shelbyville, Tennessee. Have you heard about Mr. Warner? And have you heard about this particular story in Stevensville about this particular man that went to him, Moses, for healing and ended up murdering Mr. Warner? Okay, because he felt like instead of helping him, he amplified the hex. Okay, so with that being said, reflection, drop in the comments. Let me know, what do you think? Let me know if you are from Shelbyville, Tennessee. Have you heard this story? Until next time, Ashe.